In Aberdeen, craft beer has become a staple in most bars throughout the city. But out at Dice, there's a relatively small brewery producing some big flavours, and through their focus on quality and unique flavours, are producing some of the best beer in the northeast.
Fierce name that came up conversation in Cask Bar back at the very beginning between Dave and some of the locals there. It seemed to sum up the big bold flavours that we try and get into our beers. So fierce flavour, it seemed to work really well, and it was quite good. A short, recognisable word as well. So it was good from that point of view. I think the brand name to begin with, certainly when you get it in small pack, people see the cans, they see the unique look and feel of them with the animals and the core range stuff, or the black cans for the special editions. So we've got that strong, consistent brand that people recognise, the wee Hot Man logo, and then the name. So that stands out. But then, if you're looking at it on a tap list in a bar, the flavour combination is probably different.
So what I like about Fizz Brewers, they really challenged me to go think outside the box, because I've been brewing now for 5 years, and I'm really I really held to my core recipes because I know what's good and I want to keep what's good. And then they say, well, that's okay, now do this. And that makes me like, what, you can't do that? So my first few months I was like, what the fuck's happening here? Like, this is not okay. And then they taught me that you can balance beers really well, because if you have other breweries that would say peanut riot, you get like a peanut muddy beer. And this is an actual really good porter with a ton of peanut flavor, because we use real ingredients and not like syrups and all that kind of stuff. So I think the good thing about Fierce Beers, we make beers that are booming and like super extravagant in flavor and in character, but they're all balanced and they're easy to drink. So with this, like with the last few batches of the Peanut Riot, Night Shift, Easy Shift, they're like done, and you want another one, and still it tastes like your whole tongue is super satisfied after a whole glass.
We're lucky we're the only craft brewery in the city of Aberdeen, so we had that. So I think from the beginning we got quite a strong following from people of Aberdeen. We're quite well known anyway from the craft beer scene, from taking the time to speak to people in and about the bars and get their ideas as we're developing the brand. So I think being the only folk in Aberdeen has helped, because it was something for people to latch on to and feel part of. The other people around is a good thing, because you get ideas off them, you get collaborations with them. It means that folk in Aberdeen are already aware of this type of beer and will drink challenging, strong flavours. So that's helped us, I think.
What was the first beer that you guys did that you were like, oh, that's a really good one?
I think it's probably between Kraniken or Cafe Racer. Kraniken, because it's a wee bit different to what other people have out there as core beers. Folk will do a strong fruit beer, specials, but not a lot of people do it as one of their cores. But it's our first or second biggest selling beer every month. People really like it. And Cafe Racer, just because it's exactly what we wanted it to be. Good and it's rich, and the vanilla flavour's really strong. The coffee's really nice in it. So I think those two are probably the ones you realise we're doing something right.
This last batch, on a double batch, which means we have 3,500 liters, I added about 28 kilos of this stuff, which actually makes it taste like it's an actual peanut riot beer, and it's still a porter. So what's really hip right now is people use these ingredients as primary suspect of the beer. Our primary suspect is still the style of a beer, not the ingredient, but we're using the ingredient in a really good way. That's what I think is different about beers. They make me think about craft beer in a different way than I used to do before I worked here, so that's good.
We have to make sure that people will buy our beer again. There's a lot of people going out there and saying we're a craft brewery, we do small batch, we use provenance, all these things, but if the quality isn't good, people buy it once, but they don't buy it again, and word will get out there. So the beer itself, as important as the branding and the way you get things out, the beer must be good quality, must be consistent, must taste good, or you'll last 6 months in that beer. There's so many benefits to supporting other local companies and using the produce that they have or the services they have. And you can get that relationship with them because you're supporting the local communities. But it's also got to be, you got to make sure that it's an improved quality because of it. You can't just do local for the sake of it. I think you've got to make sure that you're getting quality out of it as well. And with ingredients, you get the quality of things are fresher, they're closer, just as much time in transit, you got your carbon footprint, things like these. So local is important because it's the right thing to do, support local, but also because you've got to get better quality because of it. So it's something we look at when we choose our suppliers.
So we tell them, hey, we need 30 kilos of fresh coffee beans in 2 days, and they make us a fresh batch. And we do this in secondary fermentation, like I said, after all the yeast is out. I go on top. We mix the beer, so I let leak in a little bit of CO2, so the beer and the fermenter is kind of bubbling around, and then I just go on top and add whole coffee beans to it. So the best thing about adding whole coffee beans is you're not adding any water, so you're not diluting the actual beer, and the flavor is so much better.
After talking so much about their uniquely flavoured beers, it was about time that we delved into just exactly what goes into their brewing process.
Start with the malt. So the malt, we're gonna heat it up until like 65 to 70 degrees to make sure that the water gets in, makes it warm, and the water activates the enzymes. And the enzymes start converting the starch into sugar. So the sugars that we're making, we're gonna run that off and collect that in a kettle. So it's a really sugary kind of, it's called wort, it's really sugary paste. And we need all the malto sugar, there's 2 connections of sugar, for the yeast to eat to convert it into alcohol in the end. So when the malt's in here, the mash takes about an hour. We're starting to run off, and then we're starting kind of a natural process of filtering the beer, because if you just take it out, you have all these little bits and pieces in your beer that you don't want in your glass. So we're gonna put it on top, put it in for like 10-15 minutes, and in this process we're gonna check how much sugar is in kettle. Like, did we get enough that we want to get the right sugar content in the end of the day? Of the scratch fermenter. And what is important when it gets in here, that you add oxygen, because yeast needs oxygen to lubricate itself. Yeast also needs sugar, it needs zinc, it needs magnesium, so you have salts you put in the boil to make sure the yeast has everything it needs to be really happy. So actually our job is to make yeast happy, to make sure they do the job for us, because we cannot ferment, we cannot convert the sugar into alcohol, they can do. So for a top ale beer, what we make is top fermenting, so the fermentation takes place in the top of the fermenter. It's on high temperature and the fermentation is quite quick, and also the yeast gets flavor. That means primary fermentation, so the CO2 is coming out in the bucket, and right now it's making all the sweet nice alcohol we alcoholics love. So these are bright beer tanks. The bright beer tanks in here, they have carb stones. So the final product goes into the BBT and we're going to carbonate it. So we're going to put volumes of CO2 in it, which makes the beautiful bubbles in your beer when you drink it.
The cans up. So cans go in first, so they've got no lids on them, so they're empty. So you have to kind of make sure they're empty, there's no bits in them. Put them in, put on their labels. And then it's got 7 fills. And then once it's filled, it kind of pushes CO2 in so that the oxygen comes up, so that there's a bubble in the top. So it always looks like it's overfilling, so you do get a lot of spillage because there's not one in it here. And then it comes along, and then the caps go in here, and it goes, and then it seals, rinses, and then comes out this end, and that's where it
In April of this year, Fierce opened their first bar, which has been a huge success and giving their loyal customers a hub to enjoy all things Fierce. I wanted to find out what went into taking such a big step.
Local support from Aberdeen's been fantastic, especially with getting the bar up and running as well. And we did the crowdfunding for that. So again, people expect to come up with, getting people involved to come up with ideas or recipes, they feel that, and they were part of getting the bar up and running, so they come and drink there because it's their place as well.
I know you guys hadn't opened a bar before.
Definitely not.
So like, what would you think was like the hardest part of like opening up a bar? Like,
The hardest part, because we put a lot of pressure on ourselves.
yeah.
Trying to open for AGM was really difficult. Because there were so many people that invested that don't live in Aberdeen that were coming up for the Brewdog AGM. And I did explain, look, it's not going to be finished by a long way. This is what we have. But I wanted people to be open to use their cards. But it was hard. Dealing with like 1,000 people was hard. I did all that myself.
Yeah.
The investor cards and dealing with those people. The bar was mine. I'd never done it before.
No.
But we had 2 weeks and there was no electricity, there was no running water, there was no heating, there was nothing. There wasn't even floor.
It was always a plan. It was a bit earlier than we expected. We had it for sort of end of this year or into 2019, but the right place came up with the right partnership with the landlord, who's incredibly supportive with getting this going. So it was an opportunity thing, and it was a bit earlier than we'd hoped, but it's done well and it's been great for us. So,
And the crowdfunding obviously like huge support. You had to keep it open for like an extra bit of time.
we did. We got our initial target in, I think it was 7 hours. We had to keep it, so we did a stretch target as well. We had to keep it open a few days longer than we wanted because we knew a lot of people that were waiting on payday. So we probably, if we hadn't, we would have closed it in 4 days, I think. So it's nice, and again, it validates what you're doing. It shows that the bar is something that people want, and we've seen that from people coming into it. So.
Do you think it's really nice to have like now like a hub, like as much as you've got the brew, but you've now got the bar like in a central area where like in town?
It is, and it's a place that we can go and hang out and meet people drinking our beers. You get instant feedback from folk, which is great, and they will be honest about it, which is good. They know us, they know they can approach us and talk about these things. It's nice to have a place when we do the collaborations, things like that. We can do a tap takeover at the same time, so we can get the beers that we like from these brewers out in Aberdeen. It's somewhere for us to keep in touch with our friends from the brewing industry. So it's great, it's really good.
But one story that probably not a lot of people don't know is when on the morning that the building warrant guys were coming, we have to sign it off. We were opening at 5. Well, I wanted to be open at 5, but I wouldn't have been open at 5 if they didn't sign it. So I get to call on my mobile at 9 o'clock. I'm busy cleaning the toilets, as you do, because I do that quite a lot. And it was, hi Louise. I was like, hello. He's like, oh, it's James what? And I'm like, James who? Owner of Brewdog. I'm like, oh, sorry James, hey, what are you doing? I was like, I'm cleaning the toilets. And he says, look, I know how important today is for you. If it doesn't go through with any issues, glitches, then you can use Castlegate for your bar for the AGM weekend. Not a lot of people see that side of James. 1.
Yeah, because you guys killed it at the awards.
5 out of 9 counting days.
What was that, 4?
What did we get? So we got barrel aged, that was amplified. Got very big Moose original, and then the barrel aged, and then we got split shift for IPA.
Dirty Sanchez.
Dirty Sanchez for best porter, and was it Tangerine Tart best seller?
No, citrus tart.
No, it was Tangerine. So it's 5. So yeah, 5 out of 9 beer categories.
Operations side, it's month by month with getting the beers out there. We have a plan, like everyone else. We have our 3-year plan how we want to go. It's expand the brewery. Equipment wise, we'll look at upscaling what we got to be able to produce more beer. We will put more bars in as well. This one's worked so well. It's such a good model to get out there and have people come and drink your beer in your own place. So we'll look at expanding through Scotland and into England as well, for more bars. So yeah, the same kind of growth that we've done so far. We'll keep on going, or faster if we can.
It'd be amazing if we could get a beer festival on the go. That's one thing that Dave and I were wanting to look at. If we could get really good breweries up, it'd be amazing. People that we've collabed with, maybe, because we've done a lot, obviously. So we fancy just doing a big beer. I don't know, we do. We never stop. But we have to. It's our business. We have to do it. If we don't put the effort in, no one else is going to do it. It's not going to do it itself.
I was going to say, you guys aren't very, like, as much as you you guys are chilled out, like you're so on the ball all the time. Like it's
Have to be.
yeah.
You know, we've got life savings into this. Like, we are skint. Dave and I have not been to Renee now. It won't always be that way, hopefully. But for now, we're skint. Oh, put everything into it. But it's worth it.
Yeah.
And this weekend just passed was the first weekend